complicated decision-making processes. I think when I think of behavior, for me, the questions I would have for you are around multiple decision makers, or if we're not getting to the ultimate decision maker. Those always seem to be the top two that salespeople struggle with the most. And it really slows down the decision. If you spend a lot of time selling somebody who can't say yes, that can really slow things down. And then also when you get competing priorities. So maybe one person has a whole lot of pain as an end user for a software, but the CEO doesn't have pain because he's not using it and they're on a cheaper version. He's got pain of switching, and the CFO's got the pain of working the balance and keeping the profit margin where it is and stuff. And It can be a little complicated when we're trying to drive a quick decision here, especially with multiple decision makers. Do you have any advice there?
Well, the rule that goes with that, I think, is that if you feel it, say it gently. And when you feel concerns about, folks having to go to other people and, what they're going to have to hit and be up against in terms of the objections that they hear and face, I think the biggest thing in sales is to, just talk about that, get it out on the table. Don't assume that things are going to go the way that you hope they will. Hope's not a strategy, right? And you got to see what motivates other people. Sometimes one person's leveraging their motivation and their pain all resides in their political capital, and whether or not they leverage it for a decision, they're not the ones that are impacted as much by, maybe the problem that you're solving. So, positioning yourself in terms of, how it might help their political capital might motivate them to prioritize something is worth, lobbying and advocating for. That's to be honest with you, Mike, I feel completely separate. You could go for another whole podcast on navigating complex decision processes. There are a couple of already really good podcasts on that topic that
we have done that topic
before. Listen to.
I think the fair thing to wrap up there is also treating them individually. Like you said earlier, with the decision is asking. So asking what's in it for each one of those person, asking when they want to make the decision, when they individually want to get this done. Most people will say faster than not, and they'll tell you the reasons of what's in it for them. What else comes to mind for you for behavior?
Real quick though, I think another thing too is that when I'm working through decision makers and selling through other people, I think it's important for them to understand the concept of reverse psychology. I think they have to understand, and sometimes I have to actually teach them, like, that when you push for something, you will get pushback. When you go to your boss and you tell your boss this is what you want to do, your boss will argue with you as to why they shouldn't do it. Just like if I had come to you and said you should do this, you would have argued with me. And so here's what's going to happen. I just came to you and I just guided you on a path of self-discovery to help you uncover your pain, your problems, the impact of those problems, whatever. And you, if you want to have the same result as what we had, where you're thinking this is a good idea, you now have to go do the same thing. Now, if you can't do that, if you don't think you can do that, then you need to bring me into the meeting to help you do that, right? But just know that when you go to your boss, and you try to tell them this is what you think they should do, you're going to fail. You're going to lose. It's just human nature. They're going to push back. So you got to go in and lead them. You got to make it your boss's idea. And again, if you feel like, I'm not prepping you well enough to where you can do that on your own, then you got to bring me in there to help you do it. Otherwise, the outcome is not going to be good.